What's going on, guys? And welcome back to WWE Network and Chill, where every single Monday I, Graham Gius and Matthews, break down all the content that I watch on the WWE Network. Now, last Monday I started my reviews of Season 2 of Total Bellas. Now, I've seen Season 1. Season 1 is on the network currently. Season 2 is not currently airing on the network. It airs every Wednesday night on E! After NXT. So that being said, I'm kind of breaking my own rules with WWE Network and Chill by doing the Season 2 reviews of Total Bellas, but I'll be watching the show anyway. Why not review it? I don't like to do written reviews of reality shows. Henceforth, I'll be doing them on WWE Network and Chill going forward. And it's not like it matters anyway, considering there's nothing currently airing after Raw. Like, we haven't had any real original content on the network, aside from the Mae Young Classic, on the WWE Network for like a month now. So the timing could not be better. And if there is anything on the network after Raw one of these days, whether it be a 24 special, or, a new table for three, or I saw Storytime was coming back. It may not be this week, it may be next week, I don't remember. Season 2 of Storytime. Maybe I'll talk about that, but in the meantime, I'm talking Total Bellas, Season 2, currently airing on the E! Network after NXT on Wednesday nights. So, Episode 2 of Season 2, again, if you haven't already, check out Season 2. Season 1 is on the network. Season 2, Episode 1, I reviewed last week here on the show, so check that out when you can. But Season 2, Episode 2, entitled Marital Mayhem, dealt with a lot of issues and heavily focused on the marriage issues between JJ and his wife, Lauren, I forgot her name for a second, and their daughter, Vivian, as well as with Brie and Brian, and their marriage is fine, but with Brie being pregnant and all, she's getting frustrated with Brian, overly asking questions all the time, but anyway. So we start off the show with the Bella Twins working on their Birdie B offices and setting up the office space for their new line of clothing or bras or whatever it is. I don't remember. Daniel Bryan wants to be prepared when the baby comes. So he wants the time, how long it takes to get from the house to the hospital just in case, when the baby comes. So they go to the doctor to get the baby looked at, or get to look at the baby, not to get the baby looked at because it hasn't been born yet. I forgot what they're called, not Instagram, something gram, I don't know. I'm not huge into kids, so I don't really know. But they get the picture of the baby up on the screen of what it's going to look like or whatever and how it's doing and all that other stuff. So Brian asks a number of questions in regards to whether it's going to come early and all these other random questions that like if what Brie's eating is going to affect the child and all this other stuff. And Brie gets very annoyed with that and the fact that it's her baby. I should be the one asking the questions, not my husband, but she should be fucking appreciative. And she comes to this realization by the end of the episode, so spoiler alert, but she should be appreciative that he cares at all about her pregnancy. He's not giving her a hard time other than the fact that he brought her to a landfill, which I'll talk about momentarily, which was kind of stupid. But beyond that, Brian is a very supportive father, so she's got to stop giving him shit. Anyway, JJ, their brother, the brother of the Bella Twins, Nikki and Brie, visits Nikki's villa in Phoenix, where she's staying across or nearby Brie and Brian as the baby prepares to come. While Cena's not there, he's out working, and he might, stop in every once in a while. So he stays there after it was revealed in Episode 1 of Season 2 that he's currently having marital issues with his wife, Lauren, and that they're currently separated. So he stays there. Nikki sets rules that JJ disagrees with in regards to him drinking and curfew and all this other shit. Kind of the same rules they had to deal with when the entire Bella family and Brie and Brian and everybody were staying at Cena's house. And he sets very strict rules like a hard ass. So Nikki's no different, even though that Cena's not really there anyway, but whatever. So Nikki doesn't want JJ to tell John Cena about the marriage problems that JJ's having, not to not help out her brother, but because if John, in her mind, that if John hears the marriage issues that JJ's having at the moment, that might convince him even further that marriage is not a good idea. And obviously she really wants to marry him, and this is before the proposal at WrestleMania, so she doesn't want JJ to plant any seeds of doubt in the mind of Cena. So keep that in mind as we go along here. So JJ helps Brie out with the baby room. Brian wants to use cloth diapers, not your normal diapers, but cloth diapers that get washed every single time the baby poops or whatever. JJ is concerned that they'll get stained. Brian doesn't really care. And the reason he does this is because he doesn't want the baby diapers or the regular baby diapers that are used nowadays to go to waste and have to rot in a landfill, whatever, which I'll talk about in a moment.
So Nikki she calls John Cena on FaceTime over at her place, kind of getting away from the Brie and Brian stuff for a second, which I'll go back to momentarily. Nikki Bella calls John Cena, and then she calls Mama Bella from the villa. She's showing her a tour of the entire house when Mama Bella, through the FaceTime, spots a man in a towel in the background, assuming that Nikki Bella is having an affair. And obviously, it's a logical thought to have. Not to say that Nikki would cheat on John Cena, but like, why the fuck else would some random dude in a towel be in the background of her house that Nikki's denying is there? And Nikki doesn't want to tell Mama Bella what's going on, because if she does, then the whole word will get out that JJ's having marital problems. And that's the guy in the towel, by the way. So we'll get back to that momentarily. So Bree brings Brian to a landfill, or rather the other way around. There's a lot of B's here. Brian brings Bree to a landfill to prove to her how plastic takes years, and I'm talking thousands upon thousands of years to decompose. And they're both big on nature and the environment and all that other shit. They're kind of hippies, putting it lightly. But Bree doesn't care. It's her baby. She's going to do what she's going to do. Brian says, well, we went 70,000 years without using regular diapers, so, why stop that now? Why just because we're not going to use regular diapers? It's the end of the world, whatever. So we're going to use cloth diapers. And he brings her there just to prove to her, while she's pregnant nonetheless. While she's fucking pregnant, Brian is doing this. So I'm on Brian's side here. I'm on Brian's side in terms of, asking questions and being appreciative and showing, general interest, genuine interest in the baby coming and stuff he needs to know as a father, because it's his first time, with kind of dealing with this stuff. I'm on his side in terms of that, but bringing her to a landfill, I know it's done for the show's purpose and adding entertainment value to the show, but that was kind of silly. Anyway, so JJ meets up with John Cena at a bar for quote-unquote happy hour to talk about his problems, kind of going against Nikki's verdict about not telling John, but he feels like he has to. He needs to kind of vent his frustrations to someone who has had marital problems in the past, being a divorced man, John Cena, that is. And JJ asks Cena if he saw signs of his marriage breaking down long before it happened. Cena says, I was not ready to get married at that point in time. He does say that he sees himself getting married again, and that relationships are tough, and that shit's going to happen. So he kind of is gives the hard father advice, the hard advice, the tough love advice to JJ, and that regardless of whether you're in a relationship or married or whatever, it's going to be fucking tough. So you just got to suck it up and deal with it. Despite the fact that you just had a 3-year-old and you're currently separated, it's not doing too much for your wife right now, so you should probably fix that issue. But Cena gives a lot of good advice here. For a guy that wasn't married for too long, he gives a lot of advice in terms of dealing with relationships and marriage and the problems that'll come up. He asks JJ if whether he loves Lauren, his wife, or he's in love with her, and JJ reaffirms that he is currently in love with his wife, but he still feels like he has to miss her in order to love her, which is obviously an issue. So anyway, Brie ends up telling Nikki that Mama Bella thinks that Nikki's having an affair after the whole mix-up that Mama Bella saw at Nikki's villa with the man in the towel. Nikki tells her the truth. She tells Brie what's going on, and then Mama Bella is the last one to know. Nikki Bella voices her concerns to Cena that she doesn't really want JJ talking to John about his issues, but Cena says, he needs someone to come to too. I'm kind of the person to come to for advice. There's really not many other people to go to because they're kind of distant from their fathers. So Cena encourages JJ to come back for more advice, and he also lets Nikki know that he sees a very long future with her, and that Nikki, or rather JJ, coming to John for advice is not going to change his thoughts on marriage or whatever. He already kind of has changed his stance on marriage. Obviously, he would later propose to Nikki at WrestleMania. And he admits that to JJ, that in being with Nikki for so long, almost 5 years at that point, that he's been kind of already changing his stance on marriage compared to the earlier seasons of Total Divas. But anyway, so he kind of lets Nikki know that JJ coming to him for advice is a good thing for JJ, and it's also not going to affect John personally, because he deals with people's shit all the time. He does not let it affect him, so cool thing for him to say. Anyway, so the Bella family, meaning JJ, Mama Bella, Brie, and Nikki, they all take a vacation to Lake Tahoe in the winter. This is like February, to go skiing and just relax. And Mama Bella finds it a bit weird that JJ's taking a mini vacation, and she doesn't know by this point, by the way. By the time this is taking place, that Mama Bella does not know that JJ is separated from his wife. So she's asking him, like, why would you leave your wife to go on vacation? Like, that doesn't make much sense. So she later finds out, which I'll get to momentarily. Before she finds out, Nikki encourages JJ to go to therapy. He thinks that, or she thinks it would be for the best. It helped her relationship with John Cena quite a bit, apparently, according to her, and she's in the best relationship ever, is what she said. So she encourages JJ to go to therapy and see if it's going to help. Anyway, so the whole Bella family sits down for dinner. When Brian calls Brie on the phone, they're talking back and forth on speakerphone, of course. And then Brian suggests the baby name of Branch. Now, I saw that somewhere. I think they talked about it on the Bella YouTube channel, is where they brought it up. And I was like, wow, that's fucking dumb. Birdie Joe, to be quite honest with you, is not that much better. But Branch is pretty fucking stupid, too. And the Bella family also agrees that it sounds like a tree branch. That it also sounds very dumb. So, anyway, Nikki tells Mama Bella about the separation between JJ and Lauren. She confesses there's no cheating on John, that was what was going on the entire time that JJ was staying with Nikki. So then when JJ comes back from skiing, Nikki, Brie, and Mama Bella sit down to them. He's at first hesitant to kind of take their advice, but they all come to agreement that he needs help. He needs to fix his marriage. Brie kind of gets on his case a little bit that she is currently pregnant and has no sympathy for JJ, but they all get on the same page and tell him to not give up, so quickly, that he might regret it later on down the road. So to rather stick it through, see it through, get as much help as you can, and just not give up. It's only been 3 months. Like, give it some time, dude. So anyway, JJ comes over to the house with Lauren, thinking that Mama Bella does not know what's going on yet. So they kind of act like a happy couple, even though they're not. Daniel Bryan comes over. John Cena comes over. John Laurinaitis comes over. So the whole Bella family reunites at, I think, not Nikki's villa, the Lake Tahoe place, when they're on vacation, to watch JJ and Brian do stimulation of a contraction, what it would feel like. JJ is a wuss, he kind of gives up. And I call him a wuss, I probably wouldn't even get through level 2, so who am I to say that he's a wuss? But anyway, JJ gets very scared, he can't even get through like levels 4 or 5. Brian gets to like level 8, and he's very, very calm about the whole thing, which is not surprising at all considering Brian's personality. He doesn't complain, he sits there in silence. Brie's like, give him some more, and he still won't scream or anything. And then Brie feels bad finally for putting him through that, and says, you know what, I appreciate the fact that you survived it calmly. You kind of put pressure on me so that I have to kind of do that now when I go into pregnancy for real. And she is thankful that he cares about the pregnancy. So that is episode 2 of season 2 of Total Bellas, entitled Marital Mayhem. So we are back for episode 3 next week, right here on WWE Network and Chill. What they're talking about, I don't remember. They do show a teaser at the end of each episode promoting what's next week. I know they touch upon the Miz, Maurice, Nikki Bella, and John Cena feud, and that kind of kicking off on the road to WrestleMania, so, which was great, by the way, so I'm looking forward to seeing how that plays out here on the show. But yeah, let me know what you think of the show. If you haven't seen it, I would say check it out. I mean, the show is not must-see by any stretch, but I think you might be able to watch it on the E! Network's website or online somewhere. I don't know, but check it out when you can. Thank you for checking out this show, by the way. Be sure to like the video, drop a comment, share the video, and subscribe to the channel for daily content. Like I said, we are back next Monday with another new episode of WWE Network and Chill. But in the meantime and in between time, check out all the other content here up on the channel right now on the Graham G.S. Matthews YouTube channel. So anyway, guys, enjoy the rest of your week. I'm Graham G.S. Matthews, and I'll catch your ass down the road.